Hello everyone. We have a game with the white pieces on our speed run, trying to get into a Jabava London. Let's see what black does and if he allows it. So he starts with knight f6. We can continue with knight c3. Our setup is knight here and bishop on f4. So he plays knight to c6. Okay, so this is weird. He doesn't put a pawn in the center, so now whenever we can kick a knight, we consider it. If he double hits the pawn's protected twice already. If he jumps into the center, we can develop with tempo. We could just go down the normal Jabava London setup by developing the bishop. We even have the alternative option of playing e4 here. He really lets us do whatever we want in this position. And although we're trying to get into Jabava London, I still want to be principled, and if he allows me to play e4 in this position, I'm going to do it. He was supposed to play d5 and prevent us from doing it, but he didn't. So now he puts a pawn in the center, but by doing this, we can now push past and have a space advantage. You could also take, and after take, you could develop, kick it with a pawn, but I'm going to go for the space advantage. He has to move the knight, and we get the turn back. So he jumps into the center. That's perfectly fine. Now, I say we go knight f3 and develop. This comes for free. We're developing for free because it has a threat. And it's also threatening to take the knight and win the pawn that way as well. So it's a developing move that's natural towards the center and comes with threat, so it's for free. It also challenges his most active piece. So he moves the knight back and we take it with the pawn because, what was that? Now we're up a piece for no reason. And so I'm going to trade queens. Now we're in an endgame. He can't castle. It's our turn again and we get to take more free stuff and with threats for free because his king is in a forkable square after the queen trade. So he goes and attacks the knight, completely disregarding our ideas, so we go for the fork. He might resign. But you can see how even though I wanted to play the Jabava London, I didn't. So we take the rook. He develops a piece, and this is just a pin, no big deal, nothing to worry about. I'm just going to casually develop. I'm picking this bishop because I want to maybe take this pawn, provide an escape route possibly. So he defends the pawn by moving the knight. He's also attacking this pawn because this is pinned. So we just do the very simple f3, solidify everything. He takes our knight, we're forced to recapture and ruin our structure, but we're up 9 points of material, we'll gladly, the structure is irrelevant. So he goes knight to h5. What does this threaten? Nothing. It can't go anywhere. This move makes no sense. So we can continue developing. I'm going to develop my bishop, but I'm going to go this way. Why this way and not this way? Well, I want to say, hey, your king's not ever coming closer to my knight because these squares are covered. So you'll have to take my knight with your rook. But then you have to get your king out of the way, but your king can't move anywhere, so it's weird. So he develops the bishop, and again, the king can't move anywhere but this way. And now we can continue developing. So we'll bring this rook to a semi-open file for free because it comes with a threat. I didn't have to think much, it's just a move that checks a lot of the boxes that we like. And he'll most likely push the pawn or go here with the bishop. But the thing is, if he goes here with the bishop, this pawn hangs, so he'll probably just go here. I don't really see what else. He might be looking at this now that my bishop left, but I'll just move my king in, protecting everything. What is this? So he just ignores and goes for this pawn, but this pawn is doubled, it's weak. I don't care about it. So I'm definitely going to take his pawn and let him take this bad pawn of mine. It's like when the whales have the little fish who eat all the stuff off of their bodies. Like, he doesn't want that stuff anyway, so he lets them do it. But they think they're, you know, getting something good for free off of the whale. Anyway, the life of little fish. Okay, so he goes rook d8, which just looks at the open file. His king is still boxed in and trapped, and he's not threatening anything. You could, of course, castle. You could, of course, lift your king, which is even better than castling because your king is closer to the center. But I don't see a need for any of those because there's still so much stuff hanging. So I'm going to take this pawn. It comes with a checkmate and one threat. So that takes priority over castling. Because castling doesn't end the game, but checkmate does. So he moves his rook, which looks like it does nothing, but it gives his king an escape square. So it's no longer checkmate in one. So here, checkmate in more than one. We can give a knight check. He has to go over. We can check him either way. Well, let's say this way. Our rook is here. His king goes over again. And then we can go here, checkmate. Okay, so at the very least, even if let's say your calculation's wrong and it doesn't work, because they're all checks, at the end of it, you're like, oh, it doesn't work. It's still your turn and you can just do whatever you would have done anyway. So now we can evacuate the knight. So even if this wasn't checkmate, we get the knight out, right? So that's really good for free with tempo. So he keeps moving his king, but the reason I said not here is because it delays it by one turn because he can throw in this move. I don't want to deal with any of that, so let's go this way. He has to go here. And now a beautiful, beautiful checkmate. Really cool. And let's go over the game. We try to play Jobava London, and the setup with the Jobava is the pawn in the center, the knight on c3, and the bishop on f4. And usually black will play here d5 with the idea. See, that's why we don't make random moves. We're making moves that have to do with the center. That's what chess is fighting for, the center, right, in the opening. So my moves fight for the center, and then he's supposed to play d5 to prevent me from playing e4, dominating the center. So when he plays this weird move, sure, I can go bishop f4, but that's just making a random move. It's not controlling the center in the best way possible. The best way possible is to put the second pawn there. Because pawns are the least valuable piece, and they can control the squares better than the minor pieces because they can take anything of higher value. Anyway, now he goes in the center. We simply just push past. Like I mentioned, you can take it, you can do a lot of options, but I wanted to go for the space gaining option. I wanted to go for the restricting one. It's a nice way to play, I think. It's very practical. So he jumps in the center, and we just develop and center. And then he just blunders a piece. So it goes from an even game where we have a little more space to +5 because he hangs a piece. So we take the piece, we do the queen trade, we take the free stuff in the center, we take the free stuff on f7, we take the free stuff on h8, and then because there's no more free stuff, we go back to development and center for free because it comes with a threat. And now this supports the center. That's all it is. It's a move that completely solidifies the center, restricting his development and his pressure. Force move, development, and king safety, also trying to protect the knight. Development for free. Free stuff for free because checkmate. and then still force checkmate. So what do we got? What do we got? 96% accuracy, all good stuff, but he blundered a knight right away. So you see how you have to adjust what you're doing based on the opponent. Don't just go into your setup if you want to become stronger and stronger chess player. So hopefully this helps. See you in the next video. Good luck in your chess, and goodbye.